This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 27th day of September in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton and a team of opposition parliamentary members met and held discussions today with the U.S. congressional team at the U.S. Congress in Washington. After the meeting, Mr. Norton said he believes the meeting went extremely well, as the team was able to make several issues known to the U.S. officials.
We were able to identify the critical issues in Guyana. We were able to give them a clear vision of where we want to take Guyana, and I think there was a healthy exchange. We understand some of their interests, where the confluence of interests lies, and we will pursue those issues.
The meeting with the U.S. congressional leaders today came just 1 week after President finale, and the government team held a similar meeting with U.S. congressional leaders in Washington during the president's 3-day visit. Mr. Norton explained that during the opposition's meeting with the U.S. officials, the opposition was asked about its own development plans for Guyana. He said the opposition shared information about that plan and presented a document on their plans to the congressional representatives.
There's a wider dossier that we would have left that would have put all the issues in context in Guyana.
The opposition leader also said that the opposition team made it clear to the U.S. congressional officials that the government of Guyana does not practice inclusivity.
They're seeking inclusivity and indicated to us that we need to work towards inclusivity. We have made it clear that we are disposed to inclusivity. In our presentation, we have identified the fact that the government fails to be inclusive. They tend to be arbitrary, and they seem to want to control all the political, economic, and social space and just dominate the society.
Mr. Norton said the opposition also used the meeting to highlight issues related to the Guyana Elections Commission and elections in Guyana. He said they pressed for support for a clean voters list and for the introduction of biometrics at polling stations for future elections.
I think they understand the situation. You know that we actually call for a clean voters list in the meeting, as well as biometrics, and to solicit support to ensure that we can get a clean voters list and biometrics. We are of the view that once that happens, you create a playing field that allows for free and fair election, and in that context, we will be the People's Progressive Party.
The opposition, in two separate high-level meetings with the International Monetary Fund and a delegation from the U.S. House of Representatives, reported that despite the rapid growth in the country's economy, Guyanese are not reaping the benefits. Addressing the Washington Conference on Guyana today, the leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, explained that in the meeting with the IMF, the opposition informed the international financial institution that Guyanese are simply not benefiting from the country's booming oil and gas sector, which has generated more than $9.8 billion in revenues last year alone. In a separate meeting with the U.S. House Democratic leader Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and other U.S. congressional representatives, Mr. Norton said that the issue was also raised and that they presented a people-centered development strategy to the U.S. congressional representatives. Members of Parliament Roysdale Ford, Kathy Hughes, Ganesh Mahipal, Amanza Walton Desir, Dawn Hastings Williams, Nima Flubess, and Dionarai Ramsarup were the other members of the opposition team that attended the meeting. MP David Patterson was blocked by immigration officers from leaving the country last night, and so he missed the meeting. We'll have more of that story in a moment. Stay with us.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Having your own car means peace of mind.
Having your own car means comfort and convenience.
Having your own car means freedom to get there on your own time.
It's Deal on Wheels at Republic Bank. It's time to get that new vehicle or upgrade to a better one with Republic. Super low rates and low down payment. Up to 8 years to repay and great prizes. Come in to Republic Bank today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Well, opposition APNU AFC Member of Parliament David Patterson was blocked from leaving Guyana for a meeting with a U.S. congressman, as immigration officers at the Cheddi-Jagan International Airport claimed that there was a note in their system that prevented him from leaving the country. Mr. Patterson's attorney Nigel Hughes said when he was contacted by the opposition MP and told about the situation at the airport, he asked the immigration officers to make contact with their superiors. Mr. Hughes said the officers later informed him that they could not reach the chief immigration officer, who was the acting police commissioner Clifton Hicken, nor the deputy chief immigration officer. Patterson, who was recently charged for indecent exposure after he was allegedly spotted urinating near a fence, was cleared by a magistrate to travel for business and professional reasons, according to his attorney. He now intends to file a lawsuit against the state for illegally obstructing his travel. Acting Police Commissioner and Chief Immigration Officer Clifton Hicken could not be reached by news source for a comment today. But this afternoon, the Guyana Police Force issued an apology to Mr. Patterson. In that apology, the police force said that Mr. Patterson's name was inadvertently left on an immigration department's watch list. According to the police, Mr. Patterson's name was placed on the watch list back in July, during that ongoing investigation by the police into accusations of indecent exposure. The Guyana Police Force said it has internal SOPs to deal with such issues, and a full probe is on the way by the Office of Professional Responsibility as to why Mr. Patterson's name was not removed earlier from the list. Mr. Patterson's name has since been removed from the watch list, the police force said. The police force did not indicate under whose authority the name was added to the list in the first place. The APNU and the AFC have both roasted the government over the immigration department's obstruction of Mr. Patterson's travel. In a statement, APNU Member of Parliament Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford said the move was an unconstitutional act by the government and a breach of Mr. Patterson's freedom of movement. He said he is convinced that the move was orchestrated by the government to disrupt the opposition's delegation's participation in the meeting with the U.S. congressional representatives and their meetings at a special conference on Guyana in Washington. The Alliance for Change in its own statement said the act of preventing the free movement of a citizen is illegal, unconstitutional, and downright barbaric, and has no place in a modern and democratic society. According to the AFC, the governing PPP is showing even to an invited guest of the U.S. Congress and to all citizens that it alone sets the agenda and decides who gets to go to what meetings and who does what. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton is leading the opposition delegation to Washington on the invitation of the U.S. Congress Minority Leader Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and the Congressional Black Caucus. The meeting was announced by the top U.S. congressman late last week after a meeting that he hosted with President Irfan Ali and the government team in Washington on Guyana. Turning now to industrial matters, the Guyana Public Service Union today appealed to its members to be vigilant and to stand in solidarity with the union, as it intends to press the government for a meaningful increase in salaries for public servants. At a press conference today, union officials said past and present governments have been imposing salary increases without consulting with the workers' union, and those arbitrary increases have not been sufficient for the nation's public servants. The GPSU said the disregard for the union and the gravity of the situation now requires a more aggressive approach to get the government to act. GPSU officials also said the payment of a livable salary for public servants is the base for any negotiations. While the union has expressed concern with public servants across the board, it said that the situation in the health sector has particularly been deteriorating. According to the GPSU, workers and their rights continue to be disrespected by the government, and it will no longer stand idly by and watch the rights of workers being trampled upon. The government, since taking office, has been promising to meet with the union. However, the union has complained that many of the requests for meetings and for negotiations to begin on the salary and other issues have been shut down by the government, with no response from the Irfan Ali administration. On the diplomatic front now, Guyana's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Carolyn Rodriguez, has responded to the falsehoods made by Venezuela's foreign minister when he addressed the UN General Assembly debate last week. The Venezuelan foreign minister told the UN General Assembly indirectly that Guyana is using the Essequibo region for military exercises, which poses a threat to his country. Ambassador Rodriguez rejected the foreign minister's comments during a reply at the UN General Assembly debate.
The intelligence of the international community should not be insulted by Venezuela's allegation that Guyana is allowing its territory to be used as a platform for military aggression against any state, including the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
The Guyana permanent representative to the UN said Venezuela's continued wild accusations against Guyana is to drum up support for its claims to 2/3 of Guyana's territory. The Venezuelan National Assembly has already passed a resolution mandating that there be a referendum so that the people of Venezuela can have a say. Guyana has already seen that move as a threat and has rejected it, as the case for a final judicial settlement of the controversy remains before the International Court.
Throughout, the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana has acted and continues to act in relation to neighboring Venezuela in full accordance with international law, and has consistently invited the government of Venezuela to do the same. In particular, Guyana urges Venezuela to confirm its adherence to the judicial processes of the International Court of Justice.
Ms. Rodriguez also said not only had Venezuela previously accepted a land boundary and respected the Geneva Agreement, but it had taken part in a UN Good Offices process which lasted for decades without a resolution to the claim. But even with its participation, it had maintained its threats against Guyana. She said it was not until the UN General Secretary referred the matter to the International Court of Justice that Venezuela completely rejected the move and heightened its threats against Guyana. The ambassador also said that Venezuela believes that the way to settle the matter is through the adherence of the 1966 Geneva Agreement, then it should adhere to that agreement and plead its case before the ICJ and accept the decision of the International Court.
In its capacity as a supervising authority under the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act, the Guyana Revenue Authority presents to you this factoid. Money laundering. Money laundering is the processing of criminal proceeds to disguise or conceal their criminal origin. Simply put, it's the process by which criminals make dirty money obtained from their criminal activities look legitimate or clean.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Life can be unpredictable, and when urgent medical needs arise, you need a place that's efficient, quick, and reliable. Eureka, the trusted household name in healthcare, has extended its services to include an urgent care and pharmacy to better serve you. At Eureka Urgent Care, we understand that time is of the essence, so you can say goodbye to long wait times and stressful emergency rooms. Our team of dedicated professionals is ready to provide quality and patient-centered care Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Walk-in service or appointments are available. With emphasis on safety and patient satisfaction, our services cater to both our expatriates and local community. Eureka Urgent Care and Pharmacy for expert urgent care and medicine when it matters most. Visit us at 264 Thomas Street, North Cummingsburg, Georgetown.
Having your own car means peace of mind.
Having your own car means comfort and convenience.
Having your own car means freedom to get there on your own time.
It's Deal on Wheels at Republic Bank. It's time to get that new vehicle or upgrade to a better one with Republic. Super low rates and low down payment. Up to 8 years to repay and great prizes. Come in to Republic Bank today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Pakaraima Golden Suites, Amazonas Hotel, and Nalep Mining Company, in association with the 5-Man-2 Movement, presents Pepe Mereno.
Eu conheci uma americana que queria só beber.
Live in concert at the National Park, September 30th. Also live performances by Castro Brothers, DJ Anand, DJ Tranquilo, and your boy DJ Ace Mas Fuego. Sponsored by Fireside Suites, Fireside Grill and Chill, Extra Ginger Ale, 94.1 Boom FM, and the 5-Man-2 Bar and Grill. Pepe Mendreno at the National Park, September 30th.
The Cheddi-Jagan International Airport at Tamiri recorded a 12% increase in arrivals during the first 20 days of September, according to the Minister of Tourism, Unej Waldron. She made the linkage in the surge in passenger arrivals to the just concluded Guyana Cricket Carnival season. Stats coming out of the Cheddi-Jagan Airport indicated that for this month alone, more than 36,000 passengers will touch down at the airport, surpassing the previous record-breaking arrivals last year.
You know, with COVID, the visitors' arrivals have plummeted. Last year, we had over 33,000 visitors just for September alone. That was record-breaking ever. And then this year, we've seen a 12% rise in that for September alone.
The tourism minister told news source that undoubtedly Guyana is reaping the benefits of another successful year of hosting the finals and semi-finals for the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League and the Cricket Carnival. She said throughout the carnival season, flights as well as hotel rooms were completely booked.
7 hotels currently under construction. These are hotels that are actively under construction, and we have 3 more that are that have signed the agreement and they're going to be starting construction soon.
It is anticipated that by 2025, Guyana will have an additional 2,000 internationally branded rooms to cater to the influx of persons arriving in the country. The Sister Hazel campaign block at the St. Rose's High School was on Tuesday commissioned by the Education Minister Priya Manak-Chand. The $505 million 3-story building is equipped with 10 classrooms, a furnished information technology laboratory for research and development, a library for document research, a new centralized head teacher's office, and an auditorium, a cafeteria, and an open courtyard. The education minister said though the demolition of the school in 2018 sparked much debate, it was inevitable since the 19th century wooden building had fallen into a state of disrepair. However, she said that she was disappointed that upon her return to office in 2020, the school was nowhere close to completion.
A set of old rusty zinc blocking off out there, so you can't see the true impact of not finishing the school. So you can't see the ugliness that was left in place of the failure to finish the school, so that you can't see the effect it was having on children. And that was an unacceptable position to be in.
Ms. Manak-Chand also said it was unfortunate that the students who joined the school in 2017 were unable to benefit from the modern facility.
The children who started school in 2017 finished school here at St. Rose's, with a dilapidated square footage that meant nothing to them, that holds no memory for them, that will never be a part of their lives. It's far more than the 20 classrooms and the teaching and learning that happens in there.
The new wing, she said, will provide common spaces for students to interact and learn from each other. She stated too that the block was named after Sister Hazel campaign to honor the contributions of the Ursuline Sisters Convent to the education sector.
Sister Hazel, this block is being named after you in recognition to what you yourself contributed. But I also ask the other sisters to accept that as our thank you and our recognition of the role you have played for decades in this country.
The chairman of the Board of Governors at the St. Rose's High School, Kenrick Thomas, said the school has now been given a breath of new life. He expressed gratitude to all those involved in the project, particularly the Ministry of Education. A 21-year-old woman from Sophia will face serious charges after she was busted at the Camp Street jail during an attempt to smuggle marijuana into that jailhouse. According to a report from the prison service, the woman turned up at the jailhouse this afternoon to drop off some items for an inmate. However, when a pair of sneakers that was among the items was searched, the prison officials discovered 2 parcels of marijuana stashed under the sole of the sneakers. The prison service said the suspect was told of the drug trafficking and drug smuggling offense, cautioned and arrested before being escorted along with the narcotics to the Albertang police station. The attempt at smuggling prompted the Director of Prisons, Nicklon Elliott, to emphasize that smuggling contraband into a correctional facility is a felony that has serious consequences. He issued a call again on civilians to recognize the dangers at which they are placing themselves, the society, the inmates, and officers by engaging in the trade of contraband within the walls of the jailhouse.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care. For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water, now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, the government of Grenada will be moving swiftly to introduce legislation in Parliament to ensure that state or crown lands which are strategically located on the island's prime developmental and tourist areas can only be transferred via lease and not by way of freehold sale. The legislation is expected to be introduced within the last quarter of this year. During the delivery of the throne speech at the ceremonial state opening of the second session of the 11th Parliament, Governor General Dame Cecile Le Grenade said it is paramount as a nation that Grenada protects its patrimony so future generations can continue to benefit. It was stated that the decision to sell via freehold prime lands in the South Coast to private interests is clearly unpatriotic. The Governor General said it was important to ensure that developers are held accountable should they fail to engage in robust economic activities on the lands. The U.S. Coast Guard, USCG, repatriated 140 migrants back to the Dominican Republic following an operation that took place near Puerto Rico last week. A USCG aircraft detected 2 overloaded vessels in waters near Puerto Rico on September 21. The crew of the Cutter Joseph Doyle responded to the reports and intercepted the vessels. The migrant group was made up of 137 Dominican Republic nationals and 3 Haitians. They were taken to Dominican Republic territorial waters south of Punta Cana on Friday, where 104 of them were transferred to a Navy vessel. Rough sea conditions prevented the full transfer of the migrants. The Cutter Joseph Doyle returned to the meeting point on Saturday, where the remaining 36 migrants were transferred. Between October 1, 2022 and August 28, 2023, the USCG carried out 64 irregular migration voyage interdictions in the Mona Passage and waters near Puerto Rico. Authorities detained 1,675 Dominicans, 264 Haitians, and 15 Venezuelans, among other Caribbean and South American nationals. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. soldier Travis King, who fled from South to North Korea in July, is in American custody after being expelled, according to the BBC. BBC in a report said King was transferred into U.S. custody in China before being flown to a U.S. military installation. The 23-year-old illegally crossed over to North Korea in July. North Korean media said he had fled because of inhumane treatment and racism within the U.S. military. A senior administration official said on Wednesday that after months of intense diplomacy, King had been returned to U.S. hands and had spoken to his family. The official added that the U.S. made no concessions to secure his release. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.